I respectfully greet you all, good day. Everyone is speaking, but I have only two people. One who bears all responsibility because he built the road. If there should be any problem, remember him too. Janos not only built roads, but is the greatest road repairer. Strabag could tell you about this. And here with us is Sandor Fazekas, who as minister insisted that the road be included in the National Road Construction Program. It was a long time ago, perhaps people remember it less, but I remember that it was Sandor who looked at the proposal. Sandor, when was this? 2010, 2012, which contained the National Road Development Plan, and said, okay, but what about us?
Mezőgazdasági miniszterünknek külön is köszönettel tartozunk, hogy mindig is ragaszkodott hozzá, hogy ez az út soha se kerülje le a napirendről.
Because this wasn't marked here, everything else seemed more important. Since then, the most important thing was to reach the national border, the M3, and so on. So we owe special thanks to Sandor, our former Minister of Agriculture, for always insisting that this road never be removed from the daily agenda. Moreover, I learned this wisdom from him. The best election is when people go to vote on steaming asphalt. I told Sandor there isn't enough asphalt for all the mandates we need, but this wisdom still belongs to Sandor. And the truth is, it's good that we finally completed this road, because we received every mandate from you in this region in the recent period. I would like to thank you for this. Moreover, not only here in this region, the two parliamentary representatives standing behind me, but all the way down to the border and to Filpers. This is roughly as it should be. This is what we need now, too. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we have come together to fulfill a promise. We committed to bringing expressways, indeed roads, to the Kunsag, and today we are opening the section between Turok and Miklos and Kisuj Salas. I say we are fulfilling a promise, but the truth is, we didn't really have much choice. People learn history in school and learn there that it's not good to cross the Kunok. So actually, whether we wanted to or not, this road had to be built. The Kunok are strongly represented in the Hungarian government, all kinds of ministers, and then the Kunok provide the central bank governor. There has been peace in that direction since then, and yet you gave us the last governor from here in Kenderez, and from time to time you gift us with a Nobel laureate. This region is a great and rich reserve for Hungary. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we are the only political community, I'm talking about Fidesz, KDNP, that has a Great Plains program, partly because the minister responsible for transport is from Hódmezővásárhely, Szarhely, partly because I myself, my maternal lineage, would be from Mezotur. From Meghazagi, I also brought a wife, so we have a Great Plains program, whatever the reason may be. In 2010, unemployment in this region was 12%, and now it's at 5%. In the Demjan Sandor program, 4.5 billion forints arrived to entrepreneurs in Szolnok County. We completed the hospital in Karkag, completely renovated it, and built a fantastic leisure center as well. These were the smaller tasks. The really big expense was actually the two roads, because we're not just talking about one, although we're here today for the M4, but the M44 was also very important, since this central part of the Great Plains would have otherwise remained an isolated area, and there are still 60 kilometers of road section left from Kisuj Zalas The missing section is roughly another 60 kilometers, and that will also be built, but now we will create it in a concession construction system. Dear ladies and gentlemen, where there are roads, trucks also travel. Of course, everyone likes to pay less, so they avoid the four-lane highways and motorways. Therefore, we decided that from January 1st, 2026, trucks over 20 tons arriving in Hungary and passing through the country may only use the motorways. It's good to say that if there is, but now there is, the conditions are in place. In the past 15 years, dear ladies and gentlemen, we have built so many motorways and highways that the domestic road network, calculated proportionally per capita, reaches the level of the most developed Western European countries. In 2010, the length of expressways in Hungary was 1,273 kilometers. And by 2025, with 35 kilometers missing, exactly what's still ahead of us, it has increased to 2,000 kilometers. In addition to this, we have built a total of 8 bridges over the Danube and Tisza, and now all 22 county seats are accessible by expressway. All this together means that 90% of Hungarian people live within half an hour's drive from a motorway. And if we can realize all our investments, this number will go up to 100, and the time will shrink from 30 minutes to 20. Dear ladies and gentlemen, as my colleague Representative Kovács also spoke about this, when we reach Berettyóújfalu, provided the Romanians also complete the necessary work on the other side, then it will be possible to drive directly onto the expressways leading to Nagyvárad Kolozsvár or Adaia Cluj. This means that even by the roughest estimates, by the most cautious estimates, the Budapest-Kolozsvár distance will be 1.5 hours shorter. Today is an important moment for national reunification. Moreover, dear ladies and gentlemen, we have serious plans that concern this southern part of eastern Hungary. If you look at the map, you'll see that eastern Hungary, as such, doesn't really exist, because it actually consists of 2 parts, a northern one and a southern one. We've handled the northern one quite well. If you travel around Debrecen-Nyíregyháza area, you can see that such industrial investments and developments have taken place that slowly, what we never would have thought, the day will come when people will come from Sopron to work in Nyíregyháza. We'll sleep on this a few more times, but movement in the other direction will also start. Not only will people from the east go to work in the west, but it will be reversed too. And since the roads are now being built here, we can expect, and we will work for it, that those large industrial investments will also be born here that open up similar development prospects as happened in the northern part of the Great Plains. Namely, the plan is to create an industrial region here that we call Debrecen-Nagyszalonta-Bekiszaba, a large cross-border economic region, so we will build, it's already in planning, our 4-lane highway between Bekiszaba and Debrecen as well. Dear ladies and gentlemen, moreover, everyone can know from history that the Kunszag and the Karkag area, Török-Szent Miklós, Kisuj-Salas, and Szolnok also had an important role when the Carpathian Basin was still united, formed an organic whole, when Greater Hungary still existed. Then one of old Hungary's most important trade routes ran through here. Dear ladies and gentlemen, road construction requires money. There is money if we don't let them take it from us. I mention this to you because I just came back from Brussels. The little globe called Ukraine wants to devour all the money, and the smart gentlemen in Brussels decided to give Ukraine 90 billion euros in loans, obviously in the hope that they'll get it back with good interest.
az 400 milliárd forint.
I said yesterday, or when in Szeged, that may the honest win the election as surely as the Ukrainians will repay these loans. If we hadn't been able to stay out of this, because only at the cost of a great struggle did we stay out of this crazy Brussels idea, if we hadn't been able to stay out, our share of this loan would have been 400 billion forints. 400 billion forints. This road section we're opening now cost 170 billion forints. What's ahead of us is roughly the same amount. So we would have had to hand over to Brussels an amount that is essentially the total construction cost of this highway. Dear ladies and gentlemen, the situation is that money has a better place here in the Great Plains, in the form of a modern road, than in some Ukrainian oligarch's side pocket in the blown-to-bits Donbass. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, next year's election is also about this. Since we're talking about roads, which road will we take? We live in a democracy. Hungarians can decide about this, and they do well if they decide every 4 years about which direction we should go. It's clearly visible that there are 2 roads ahead of us. We can go on the Brussels road, which means our money is taken from here, somewhere else, used somewhere else, and someone else develops from it. The other option is that we stay here, in Hungary. We stay on the Hungarian road, and we proceed as we have done in the past 15 years, and then Hungary will develop, and then Hungary will grow, and then Hungary will strengthen. For this, of course, we need to keep all our mandates that came from this region in the past 4 years. So I would like to ask you to prepare and please help secure the representatives' mandates. Because without the Kunszag and, broadly speaking, the Great Plains, a national government cannot be formed in Hungary. If the Kunok are with us, if the Kunszag is with us, if the Hungarian Great Plains is with us, then whatever happens in Budapest, we will win this election. I ask for your trust and support for this. Looking ahead to the years ahead of us, I wish for all of us, for all of you. May God give much strength and good health, give happy families, understanding partners, abundant blessings of children, good neighbors, and give work that has use, meaning and fruit. Blessed, peaceful Christmas, and Happy New Year to all of you.
Emlékeztetett, hogy 2026. január 1-től a